there, everybody. It's Barbara Rozgonyi with NSA Carolinas, and today we're continuing our round of board member interviews, and I'm so excited to introduce you to Nicole Greer, and Nicole is our VP of Membership. So Nicole, welcome.
Yeah, Barbara, how are you? I'm delighted to be with you.
Yeah, it's always great to see you. We had so much fun at that event. What did we call it? I guess the kickoff for the new year, or the evening series. We were there together for the evening and the whole day back in June.
Yeah.
Every time I looked at you, you were laughing and having fun. I just thought, wow, I can see why Nicole is a great person to be our membership chair. And you even won an award for all the members you brought in last year. I think it was like 30 something.
It was all of my good friends. I said, what are you doing right in my club? Come be in my club.
So they did. They rushed in, which is fantastic. So I know there've been a lot of changes with membership with National Speakers Association. And by the way, if you don't know, NSA Carolinas is the two-state chapter of the National Speakers Association. We serve both North and South Carolina. And our national organization has updated their membership options for the new year. So could you walk us through those, Nicole?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. So the NSA, what they have decided to do is offer us 4 different levels to join the NSA. So the first level, I think, is great for somebody who just wants to begin to think about, hey, I have got this desire, maybe a calling. I feel like my purpose in life is to get in front of an audience and speak. But gosh, how do you get started in this crazy business called speaking? The first thing you would do is you would get what I call the content subscription. So you would get that through NSA at the national level. And so you're going to go to nsaspeaker.org. And when you get there, you're going to click on membership and you'll get the whole drop down that tells you what all the different types are. But the first level is $348 a year. You're going to get a digital copy. Let me say that again. Digital, pronunciation and speaking is really essential, Barbara. So the digital copy of Speakers Magazine. Okay. Now inside Speakers Magazine is article after article about how to do the business of speaking. So you want to get that in your mail, in your email inbox every month, like clockwork, and like devour it from cover to cover. Now here's the thing. It is. And here's the difference between somebody who starts a business of speaking and someone who keeps wishing, hoping, and praying they would, I think prayers are good, but you got to put a little action behind it. Is that you have to do what the articles say. That's the point.
Yeah, you have to. And it's even if you just go through and pick one article and pick one thing to do and then work your way down. But you're so right. I mean, you can read the articles, but it's kind of like saying, I'm going to have healthy weight or I'm going to have a healthy lifestyle. So you read every article on how to be healthy, but you still love your chips and donuts. It's
it's not going to work. Right. No. How did you know I had chips and donuts for breakfast?
Wild guess. Yeah.
No, actually, I had chicken salad made with Greek yogurt on whole wheat bread. That's what I had. So I'm doing good, Barbara. Okay, she's checking in on my diet.
Yeah.
All right, so the other thing you get in the content subscription is a digital podcast resource, right? So these are speakers, experts, people who are making money, getting on stage, talking. So you want to definitely pay attention to the podcasts that are out there. It'll help you also. They're going to have live recorded Build a Better Business webinar series and Be a Better Speaker webinar series. So you're going to get so much content for $348 a year. Now, if you want to join the local chapter, which is the chapter that's between North Carolina and South Carolina, you would pay another $165 directly to NSA Carolinas. You're going to go to nsacarolinas.org and join there. Now, before you can join us, you have to join at the national level. So that is the new development for this year, is that we really want people to belong both to our national community, right, all across America, and then also belong at the local level. Now, I want to tell you something, Barbara. I have belonged to both since I started. I never did one or the other. I did both always, and it's been super valuable in my own career.
So yeah, I've done the same thing. I moved to North Carolina from Illinois almost 2 years, little over 2 years ago. Wow, went fast.
And we're so lucky we got her.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I do love both chapters. I mean, I just love NSA in general, but you're right. And I think, with any organization you join, you always want to see what are the people like, and speakers are just wonderful people to be around. So you've been a member of NSA Carolinas a lot longer than I have. How would you say this chapter has really helped you build your business, Nicole?
Okay, well, first of all, the people at NSA have this thing called the Spirit of Cavett. Okay, so let me tell you what Cavett is. There was a gentleman who started this whole thing. Like any organization, there's somebody that has an idea and says, you know what, we should get professional speakers in a room and learn from each other and turn this into a career, a vocation, something you do with your whole life that gives you your life meaning. And then here's the thing about being a speaker. If you're an excellent speaker with excellent content, you go out into the world and you impact, influence, and energize people to do more. And here, last thing I checked, Barbara, the world is a hot mess. Would you agree?
I would say there is a huge need to have impact, energy, and influence. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
So like
more good. Yeah.
Sit around at the house and be upset or drink wine, complain, and with all the people in our lives about what the condition the world is in. Or we could say, I've got some things that I could share from the stage, do it in a professional way, do it in a way where I'm an excellent storyteller. I'm bringing, actionable, what Nicole Greer calls in her business, strategy, systems, and smarts for people to put to work. And then maybe people might just do a better job out there in the world, right? Because what I believe is, like, if everybody was on in their calling, on purpose, doing what they're called to do, we'd be cleaning up all these messes out there. But I think we're all waiting for somebody else to do it. But speaking is a beautiful way to help the world become better, because you're going to give people advice, tips, tricks, all those things. So, so in my own life, I've learned how to do that, and to do that better and better and better. Because here's the thing, the better that I speak, the more rapport I build, the better the delivery, the more the audience can take that information and put it to work.
So well said. Absolutely. And there's so many different topics too. It's not all about just being motivational or inspirational. I mean, it could be, maybe you talk to people who are in finance and you've got ideas on how they can really help their customers, or it could be healthcare. They're all different kinds of topics. So Nicole, I did a quick search on LinkedIn for the number of Charlotte speakers. And when you go on LinkedIn, and if you put in the word speaker and Charlotte, North Carolina, 7,600 people come up. So a lot of people consider themselves speakers, but I'm wondering about the exclusivity that NSA and NSA Carolinas might offer a professional speaker that they can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about your background. Did you do Toastmasters before you got to NSA? Was that in your travels?
No, I actually quit my corporate career as a national sales trainer. So, and I never, I had 3 kids, so I never really had time to go to Toastmasters, and I was always doing church stuff, PTA, all this other stuff so it was always last on the list, something I'd always wanted to do, but I just kind of went with what I knew, and NSA, so.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people have your pathway, and then I think others have like my pathway, which was, I was like, well, here's the thing. The 7,600 people that have speaker on their LinkedIn profile is one of the things they do. They probably have really amazing raw talent, and they're not afraid to stand up and speak in front of a group. And, all those studies they do about people who are, it's worse than death to get up and speak for an audience or whatever. Obviously we're not that group. We have that outgoing, enthusiastic kind of demeanor that is made for the front of the room. Now, here's the thing. I went to Toastmasters. I love Toastmasters. You should join Toastmasters as well. So I'm still in a Toastmasters. In fact, I started the one I belong to. I believe in it so much. I started my own club, and it's awesome. But anyway, Toastmasters is where you learn to speak and you learn leadership skills. Okay. Now, they never, never ever talk about building a speaking business at
Mhm.
Toastmasters.
Okay.
What's the difference? Like if I was to say, they're not going to teach you to build a business. Now, if you come to NSA, we're going to sit around and talk about how do you build a website? What does a good website look like? What is your social media strategy? And you get to be in the room with Barbara. Like, don't miss this, everybody. You get to be in the room with Barbara, who is a social media guru. Now, that's not going to happen at Toastmasters. They're going to have a format they follow like clockwork, which is genius, but it's not what we're doing, which is getting you in a room, having somebody like Barbara come speak. At that thing we did in June, we had this guy who is actually in the position of our leader at the national level, Barry Banther. He has been speaking for a bazillion years, and he downloaded how he built his business. He's like, do this, then do this. Here's
Mhm.
my worksheet, then do this. And
Right.
so people, even in our room, who've been in the business 10 years, are scribbling down everything Barry Banther is saying. Now, here it is again. Don't miss this. Now you got to go do what Barry Banther just said. And you need to come back every quarter and meet up at the NSA Carolinas meeting so Barbara can look you in the eye and I can look you in the eye and go, hey, what'd you do that Barry said? Right? We hold each other accountable and we celebrate each other's successes. But when we get back in that room, we're going to have another speaker who's going to download something else that's going to tell us how to do this business, be an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
That's the difference. Don't you think that's the difference?
I would completely agree. It's a huge separator. And I feel like there's so many people who have such great talent in Toastmasters that they should consider professional business. But let's be honest, as somebody who is an entrepreneur and runs a business, it's a lot of work. And you really,
It is.
you need to be around other people who are successful for a couple of reasons. Yes, you learn from them, but to me, it's you really need to have role models and mentors in your life, and you need to see where you could go. And if you can't see those signposts of success ahead of you, you'll never get there. And that's what's wonderful. When you walk into an NSA meeting, you see all these folks who have made it. You can see them online. You don't even have to walk in the room. You can just look online. But then you can see, oh, I can do that too. And it's very inspiring, encouraging, and it's really what you need to nurture your success.
That's right. That's right. Well, let me tell them about the second level of the national membership, because that's where you are then able to join us at NSA Carolinas. So don't forget, the first level was $348 a year, and that just gets you content coming to you.
Okay.
And it is excellent content. It's again, business building, better speaking content. And it's from, don't miss this, it is from professional speakers who do this for a living. Like, they don't have a job, they speak and they're an entrepreneur, and they're going to download this stuff to you. That is the best $350 that you have ever spent in your life. Now, if you spend $525 a year, okay, $525 investment in your career, your calling, your purpose, okay, at that level, at the NSA level, you get everything I just talked about: the digital magazine, the digital podcast, the Build a Better Business webinar, and Be a Better Speaker webinar. Okay, so notice how it's be a better speaker, be a better business. So
right.
It's both, right? Now for $525, you get all that, plus you get preferred pricing for NSA events. So let's talk about that for a minute. So the National Speakers Association has this huge conference in the summer, and unfortunately, I did not get to go this year. So sad, but I got all the recordings. Okay, I paid the money, and they're going to send me all the stuff. Okay, and I will sit here and listen to it and act on it. Okay. Now you can go to Influence. Now, if you go to Influence, you will make friends. You will go to some fabulous hotel. Now, does all this cost money? Yes. But just like anything, like if you were going to get a college degree to become a school teacher, you would have to pay your tuition. It is the same thing to become a speaker. You're going to have to pay your tuition. You're going to have to go to NSA Influence. It's like going to school. Okay, so you do that, and then you get better pricing because you are an NSA member. Okay, now NSA members also qualify for some benefits. So if, you know, a lot of people don't want to pull the plug, Barbara, and go from having a career with a company to becoming an independent entrepreneur because they're worried about things like insurance. Now, if you join the NSA Carolinas, they have different benefits, including insurance and things like that, that make it easier for you to kind of transition out of your day job into a full-time career in speaking. The other thing that they have at the 525 level is access to discounted partner services. So one of the things that both Barbara and I are doing, we're talking to through Zoom right now. You can get a discount on Zoom. And then there are monthly virtual networking events called mic swaps. So you show up at this event and you watch people speak, and they are so amazing. It'll blow your mind. So it shows you how to do the business. Now, once you pay that $525, you call me, Nicole Greer, your membership chair, and you pay $165, which is a bargain, to join the NSA Carolinas. And then you participate in the local level, and these people will become your friends. So like Barbara here is my girl, right? Stan Phelps, our president, is my guy. I mean, all these people have been my friends for over, I guess, 8 years now.
Wow.
And it's amazing. Yeah. So there are 2 more levels to the National Speakers Association that you can join. One is at $950. Hold on, somebody's calling me, and it's a potential spam, so I'm gonna let them go. So
Okay.
there's $950, okay? And when you join at the $950 level, you get into this thing called the NSA Digital Vault.
That's cool.
And you turn little gears on your computer and you get into the vault. If you really want to do this business, everything you need is in the vault.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you can do the $3,700 level, and that includes everything under the sun. My suggestion, start at $525, join at the local level, and and here's the other thing, Barbara, you have to show up for meetings.
Oh, that's so true. I mean, why wouldn't you want to? It's always so much fun, and people are in a great mood. You're going to be inspired. You're going to walk out thinking, I am a speaker. I can do this. You know, it's so worth it. It's like a recharge.
Yeah. And people are like, well, I joined and nothing happened. Well, you didn't. You hear Barry Banther talk about how to build your business and go home and put your fanny in a chair and execute.
Right.
But I mean, if Nicole and Barbara can start a speaking business, I mean, maybe I shouldn't speak for you, Barbara, but don't you think anybody can do this if they want it?
I think they can. They have to have a couple of things. They have to have a passion in their heart and a message they want to share. And once again, it doesn't have to be inspirational or motivational. I talk to people a lot about marketing and messaging. There is some inspiration in that, but you know, they have to have that desire, I guess is it. And then, yeah, running a business is tough, but you know what? We've got folks that can show you. It's kind of like when you watch American Ninja. I watch that and I'm like, I can never do that. But you know what? The speaking business is kind of like that too. If you have somebody who can show you how to get through those ropes, go through those water barriers, and really come out on the other side and say, I did it, you're going to get those folks that are going to surround you. And people are so supportive, encouraging, welcoming, friendly. You're going to love it.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, and I think you show up. And, you know, I'm just thinking of the people that have showed up this year. So, for example, we have this gentleman named Jeremy, who's joined. And to give you an example, I don't think, do you think we should talk about Jeremy? Do you think that'd be all right? I think he doesn't like us to talk about it.
I don't know. He's not doing much. He just started a studio. He went out to influence. No, I mean, yeah, of course we should. I'm really impressed by these folks like Jeremy and Larry that just joined and that have just taken off, and they are just part of the flock, you know, which is wonderful.
They're just flapping their wings right with it. And so, and I love that you mentioned Larry because he didn't come to my mind, but Larry with his golden mic. Okay, so these two have just done this crazy thing, Barbara, called made a commitment.
Exactly. That's so hard though, sometimes, but you can't get anywhere what to do.
That's right. They're just doing it. And so you can watch Jeremy, like he went through our speaker school. So let's talk about that just real quick again. In the fall, we will have this thing called speaker school. We don't have it formatted yet, but we have, you know, our mastermind, Mike Mooney, 4 M's. Okay. He's working on it right now. It will be an A to Z, get your business started thing. Okay. So you go through that. Now, Jeremy and Larry come to class. It's on Saturday morning. Like, don't miss this. We do it on Saturday because we know you might have a day job today. And Saturday is the only day you can come.
Right.
Okay. So we've done it on Saturdays. I don't know what they're going to do this year, but traditionally we've done it on Saturdays because we know you're trying to transition, trying to start doing this for a living. So, so it's on Saturday. And so you would see the next week, Jeremy had his homework done, and there are homework assignments. I mean, like, it's literally like, fill out this worksheet and go do X. If you just do what you're told to do, you can have this up and running. Now, Jeremy was a very successful entrepreneur in another way. And he decided he's sold his business and now he's going to do this. Now, not everybody's in that position, but you can start to do what we're doing by having a job over here and transitioning over here. You just have to show up and you have to execute on the activities that are presented in these meetings. That's all to it. And it's $690 all together if you want to play at the national level and with us at the Carolinas level. It will be the best $690 you ever spent.
Oh, I completely agree with that. Wow. And it also demonstrates commitment, back to what you said before. If you're going to commit to something, then it says that, yes, I'm serious, you've signed up, and you are going to come to the meetings, so I think that gives you a leap ahead already.
Yeah. Well, I have shared this. Can I tell you a little story about starting to make money speaking? Can I talk about that for a minute?
I would love to hear it. I think everybody would.
Okay.
Go for it.
Because I have been there, done that. Okay. I had, like, I'm not making any money speaking. I was there in that place, but now I make money speaking. How did you transition, Nicole? All right. So I don't know if this is the right way. It's just the way I did it. But you can take the story, add, subtract from the strategies that you hear inside of it. But it got me to the point now where people call me and say, will you speak at this conference? Just last week, Barbara, I spoke at a North Carolina financial directors conference. Okay, I'm the token non-financial talker. They had me come on to talk about how to do culture.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
All the other stuff they listened to was about numbers and money, but I was like the breath of fresh air. Dare I talk about myself that way, but like, this energy is what they needed right then, right? And they brought me in after lunch, because who do you put after lunch? You put the vibrant coach after lunch. So anyway, so I go in. Then on Monday, I spoke at the North Carolina Investment Association. I'm not a financial content person. And at that group, you know what they wanted? They wanted me to talk about how to manage your time and energy. And so they picked the gal who had a lot of energy. I said, okay. So I spoke at that. So, okay. So this is how I started. And this is going to help somebody, I hope. So I'm in Toastmasters. I don't have anything going on. I show up at 3 meetings that are in my local area consistently. Don't miss that. So I show up and I show up and I show up. When you show up and show up and show up, people are like, she's real. She's legit. You got to show up, people. So I go to this chamber meeting, this meeting, and this meeting. Okay. I help at the meeting. I help. Okay. I volunteer. I make the coffee, whatever. Okay. I do all that. Then I start telling people what I do for a living. I say, I am a coach and I speak for a living. They go, oh, I didn't know you spoke. Oh, I do. And then they say, oh, well, I belong to this group over here. And would you like to speak? We have a meeting, don't miss this, every month. And we need a speaker every month. We think that it's a big deal, but almost every organization is looking for somebody to speak this month.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. So there's a big market out there. So then they say to you, will you come speak? Now, when you're starting out, you say, yes. Because you need time in front of an audience to practice, whether it's 20 people are going to be at this meeting or 4,200 are going to be at this meeting. And when you get there, they're gonna say, here's what we'd like you to speak on. And this is what you do. You say, I would like to know in detail as much as possible what the people at this meeting are trying to do. Why did they come to this meeting? What is this meeting about? What are the goals if you come to this meeting? Okay, and you write all these things down. And then you say to the person in charge, I think I can help your people do this, this, and this. Did I get that right? That's what these people need? Yes. And you say, I think I could do that. I think it can bring a lot of value. And I will deliver that. I'll bring handouts. I'll be prepared. I'll be professional. I'll be on time. And I am excited about coming. Now I'd like to ask you if you could help me with something, and then stop talking. Get a yes. And so the person will go, well, yes, of course. And you say, okay, good. So I am trying to become a national speaking professional. I am trying to earn money as a speaker. And so what I would like to do is ask if there is any kind of budget anywhere where you could compensate me for the value I'm going to bring when I bring boop, boop, boop to your group. Is there a way we can do that? And people almost always say, almost always, you'll have some go, no, no budget. And will you speak for free? Say yes. But they might say, we'll see what we can do. You say, any amount would be great. I have people write me a check for $25. I had people write me a check for $1,000. I had people write me a check for $250. And then that's how I started earning money. I just got to a yes and said, and then if they said, we don't have a budget, I said, is there anybody that would like to speak for 5 minutes before I get up on stage about their business? And they could write me a check as a sponsor. It could be $25, $250, $1,000. But once you become known as a person who is paid to speak, you gain confidence for asking for a fee. And then slowly but surely you work your way up from the Rotary Club to the Chamber of Commerce to a little association. And then before you know it, you're speaking at a national conference or something like that. So you just have to ask for the money. Now, we don't talk about fees at NSA, but we do talk about providing value and getting yourself in front of an audience. So I hope that helps somebody out there. I just started doing sales, which you understand fully. I say, this is the value I'm going to bring. Could you help me? Stop talking. Yes. Good. I need to be paid.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I'm trying to be a professional.
Yeah, and bringing in the sponsor too is really smart. And the sponsors, I mean, it goes beyond what they can normally get from a group like the Chamber. Maybe they're a sponsor and maybe they get their name in a program, but if they get time on the floor in front of people and you say that you're going to promote the sponsor in social media and say thank you, that's something they can't get anywhere else.
100%. 100%. So we're gonna definitely show you how to do all that. And like, maybe that wasn't helpful to anybody. Maybe it was helpful to all of you watching this. But here's the thing: you're gonna get little snippets like that. Well, Barbara, how did you do this? And then there's Stan Phelps, who's written, I don't know how many books does this guy have, 11 or something. So it's like, how did you write 11 books, Stan? He'll tell you. He'll tell you how he did it. Right? Nancy Appleman Vassal, she has a wonderful big training organization. How did you get your training organization organized? She'll tell you. But you have to come, you have to pay the $690 and you have to show up and you got to come be our friend.
Exactly. Yeah. And I have to really just agree with everything Nicole said. And I think you will be shocked at the amount of information people are willing to share. It's like, your best friends in the business. That's really who we are. So.
Yeah. And, I don't know that I finished my thought about Cavett.
No, I don't think you did. But if you'd like to finish it up, that would be great because it's a wonderful topic that we definitely need to mention.
Right. So everything I'm talking about is the Spirit of Cavett. So Cavett is the guy who started the NSA in the first place. And one of his things that he would say from the stage as he's starting this organization is that we want the Spirit of Cavett. And the Spirit of Cavett is that we are not competitors. They're not competitors. He would say it like this: we want to focus on the skills and the profession of speaking to make a bigger pie. So there's enough pie to go around for everybody. Okay, now this is like in the 60s when he does this, like the 70s when he's talking about this. All right, now Here's the thing about speaking. If Barbara speaks at the whatever conference this year for an association, they do not want her back next year. You know why? Not because she didn't slay them, not because she didn't speak it awesome. Your audience is usually the same people in that association coming back every year. So, oh, it's time to go to our conference. It's time to go to our conference. So they can't have Barbara on the docket every year. Now, maybe every 5th year, she's a favorite. They bring her back. Could be 3rd year. But this year they had her. So next year they won't have her. They got to bring some new people. So who's she going to suggest? She says, you know who you should have come? You should have Nicole Greer. She is awesome. That's the bigger pie. Do you see that? Right. And so now Nicole says, you know who you should have come? You should have Barbara come. She's awesome. So we take care of each other in that way.
We sure do. And that's really what it's all about, is just this synergy and this friendship, camaraderie, and we're all applauding each other's success, which I love. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I'll give you another example, just real quick, and then I don't know what we want to do next for people, but there's a woman named Dr. Amy Clymer. I want y'all to go look her up. Google Dr. Amy Clymer. She went to school. She got her PhD in creativity. Okay. Her dissertation's on creativity. I remember when Amy came to the NSA for the first time. She's sitting at a table. She sits next to me. We start talking. She just got her certified speaking professional designation at Influence, the big conference we have, which was 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. And she already has her CSP. She is making a full-time living, no longer being Professor Amy, being a speaker, doing workshops, doing conferences, being an entrepreneur. And she talks about creativity. And I mean, she just did it. A to Z, she did it. And now she's just going to get better and better and better and become bigger and bigger and bigger. But she went from, from teaching to I have a business. And I'm a certified speaking professional, which is a big designation at NSA level. It means that people have paid you over 5 years to speak professionally in front of an audience. You're a professionally paid person. This is your career now. So go check her out.
Yeah, she's a great example. And she was at Influence. She was also a presenter twice, once on the main stage and once in breakouts. And she's a wonderful presenter and she's a good person to know. And you will probably meet her when you come to one of our events. Yeah, that'd be great. So as we wrap this up, Nicole, do you have any last thoughts you'd like to share with people?
I would just say, reach out to Barbara and I on LinkedIn. Let's be LinkedIn. Why don't you, go to the NSACarolinas.org website. You can put your contact information into our website. You will start to get emails from us. We are a volunteer kind of ragtag team. So we all have businesses to run and families, but we're building the NSA Carolinas because we love it so much. Put your name and address and email address in there. You'll start to get the notifications. Hey, we're having an event. The next one is August 14th, 2021. And it's going to be, I think, 9 to 11 or something like that. It's a Saturday again, because we know you might have a day job. And so you come to that. If you don't join, you'll be charged to come because it will be full of great content. But you could join for the $690. Then you would be invited to the event. You'd be off and running. You would have your fanny in a chair. You'll be doing your dishes, washing your car while you're listening. You have a pen and paper, write down what they're saying and start executing. And then you'll have a speaking business within a year.
Wow, it's a good challenge. And I think for people who take Nicole up on it, you will be surprised in how much you can accomplish in a year. It's an incredible way to have not only a wonderful living, but also a way to touch so many lives. So follow, like Nicole said, follow her on LinkedIn, get in touch with us with nsacarolinas.org, and stay tuned because boy, do we have a ton of wonderful programming coming up for you. Thanks to Dr. Kevin Snyder, who's the VP of Programs. And we're going to reveal all that in the next few weeks. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. Well, thanks again, Nicole. Look forward to seeing you at the meetings. So.
That's right. I'm going to need to hug your neck. So I'll see you then.
All right. Take care. Thanks, everybody.